Welcome, everybody. Podcast 216. It's been a while since we've seen everybody's faces, or they seen our faces, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Really miss us. I know it.
Of course they missed us. What else are they going to do on their Wednesday nights?
We're delightful. I keep waiting for like a good like drop on that opening intro. Like that music, it's just like it's building to a drop.
That never shows up.
No.
It's the best kind of DJ.
Just teasing us right to the end.
Yeah.
So obviously we got a packed show coming up, but little bit of 5-pin universe talk, I guess. The 5PL is almost wrapping up. The Crushers kind of dropped the ball and the Rebels kicked us around a little bit, but we're still in the hunt, guys. We're still there.
Yeah.
We need help. We need things to go our way, but it's there.
Yeah. There's a chance.
I have to say, and maybe our team doesn't have to take it the wrong way. I've never been on a team that when we are pressing just a little bit, everybody presses. There's just like we're a great team on choking together sometimes. And I just if you want me to say how it is, love everybody to pieces on it, but we didn't play very well against the Rebels, and Rebels played better than us, and that's how it kind of came to be. But I will say, this couldn't have worked out any better for people who are watching online. You look how close things are. You know, even if you look down, even Venom has a chance still, right? I mean, you have to look at that. Venom still has a chance outside, right? You have, right? And then you have Carnage in there, and, you know, it's just...
The Roses have a chance at first place still?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, so there's some drama that is still happening, right? But yeah, we let the Carnage and the Venom have a decent chance to take it away from us.
Mm-hmm.
We played dramatically better the second game, but yeah, that first game, it was just like, hey, we're going to throw all strikes. Great. Yeah, we're going to open everything. We're going to throw strikes again. You know what? We're going to rip three pins in a row.
Because we're that good. We're that good.
I think the frustrating part is we lose. Like, I lost my game against Kaylee, and let's give Kaylee a shout out. She played very well that day. And you know, Gary loses a little one against the Rebels, and Caitlin and Katie. Let's be honest with you, that one I'm not really counting, but he was close to. He was within a ball. Those 3 points. I mean, all of a sudden we're looking at 55, and Carnage needs, you know, a little bit more than what right? It's just 13 points is a huge difference, right? Yeah. Instead of 10.5. And unfortunately, that's the way she goes. But since, you know, for the people out there, obviously haven't seen the payouts, but since we have an extra team, we pay out top 6. So, I mean, maybe it's bad juju for us for putting that in there. But, you know, it's nice.
I think it's fine. It's fine. We put up the points. They got to catch us. So
yeah, and unless they need 11, right? We're 10.5.
It's 2 wins.
So they need 11. 2 wins. They need 2 wins. Yes.
Yeah, unless they do the 8-0 thing. They do the 8-0 thing. Then
5-3 is so rare.
Yeah. Right. It's I don't know.
And the Roses are one of the best teams on paper. So
yeah. So not usually don't root for another team, especially in your division, but like the one time maybe I want to see Derek Holm all of a sudden hamstring fixed, throw a 10-bagger or something.
Always great coming out of an injury.
Yeah.
It's true.
Let's be fair.
It's true.
But I mean, so yeah, there's that, you know.
Yeah. Switching topics, obviously next gen, they've locked up first on the other side. They set a ridiculous record. I don't know if they'll ever be touched. 81% winning percentage. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But more exciting, not that we don't want to talk about next gen all the time, but we have a relegation round and the rules have come out on how this is going to work. So not sure if anybody can read this. If you're watching on a 60-inch television, maybe great. But the bottom 2 teams from each division will enter the relegation. 4 teams will enter the relegation round number 1. They will play a round robin between all 4 of them. And the top 2 teams after that round robin will stay in the league. And then the 2 teams at the bottom of that round robin will fall into the expansion. The expansion being the teams that won in. Obviously, there will be 2 spots open, or as many spots as to fill up to 26 teams, because we don't know if all the teams are coming back yet, or we haven't gone through that process. But it gives these teams that are in the bottom, they knew throughout the season that the bottom 2 that they would fall into a relegation, but it gives them a second life at staying in the league.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, a lot of these teams have been committed with us for many years, and it's nice to have an opportunity for them to have a double life, right? And I know Kerry Star did this with the World Juniors, something similar to this, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the fairest way we can go. Absolutely, right? So like a team like the Eclipse, one of the OG teams is in there, and that's kind of not somebody we would expect. And, you look at even the other side of knockouts, there's some very good players on that team. And, Pinsanity is a whole province behind them. And then you have your average pros, right? The 5th team in Edmonton. So,
and you know how their season's going when people are finding their shirts at Value Village.
Yeah. Okay. This is something you got to say next. This is the best news I've ever heard.
We have we have a very good relationship with our school teachers that come in with their classes at the bowling alley. And one came in and he talks to us all the time, and he was like, yeah, I was at Value Village and I saw an Average Pro shirt there. It's the same logo and everything. And I'm like, yeah, it's their shirt. It's their shirt. So clearly somebody jumped off the Average Pros wagon and said, I'm done. I'm done.
Can't handle it.
Sick of this shit.
I just want to know who it is. Like, I think that's the greatest part of all of it. I want to see somebody come up and be like, hey,
in all fairness, they were handing out their shirts like they were candy, right?
Right.
True.
And Scott Rice comes out and says, maybe they outgrew it. Maybe they got fat. And I was it's very, very likely could happen, right? I mean, you just never know. But yeah, it couldn't happen to a better group of people.
Wow.
They I know
that's marked down. That's marked down.
That's marked down. And we all know they're going to love the ribbing, but they're looking forward to relegation. They're not looking forward to it, but they're excited to have a second opportunity to it. And I think they're trying to get
like that team is solid. Like it's a decent team. Like they can absolutely play. So yeah.
Well, okay, so let's go over a little stats here. We got a few more minutes before we bring in some of our special guests for this podcast. But let's go over some stats. The Average Pros obviously have played 11 games. They are averaging 246, so not horrible, but their opposing players are averaging 266 at them.
Yeah.
The average against, they are, 266, yeah, second highest against average. Yeah. So teams are showing up and throwing at them. The Lumberjacks are actually the highest average team against.
Huh. I can see it. The Lumberjacks had some bad luck. But I guess when you just have a beatable, team, like they think they're I want to beat up on Henry because Henry chirps everyone. Does that fuel the fire a little bit? You think? You think about it?
And okay, and their name is the Average Pros, right? Their name is the Average Pros, and their team is built around a community, a culture of inclusiveness and like togetherness, but being average. like ripping 2 pins, ripping 3 pins. One of us, right? You're not striking fear into people. So people are freewheeling.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way
Yeah.
to look at it. Let's look at what other teams aren't scared, or teams are getting beat up on because people aren't scared of the Holy Rollers, the Revengers.
I mean,
just poking fun. They got the highest averages against.
Yeah.
But
it's just luck of the draw too, right? I mean, luck on your division, luck of the draw. I'm interested. Maybe something we can talk to our guests about. I wonder who they're cheering for in the 5PL.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end
If
of it,
we
we're
have
going to have to
regions.
ask for each person's opinion.
And if they're a next gen fan, do we just tell them to get out, or
Oh, no, we won't even tell them. We'll just end it.
just
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, with that being said, we might as well bring in our first 2 guests from the Youth Challenge Nationals. Excited to have them on here. I got to watch them all last week, and the year before when they're on virtual, I watched both of them play.
Mhm.
Pretty cool, and one of the unique styles that we don't get to see in our sport very often. So without further ado, from Newfoundland, Vanessa and Cody, how are you guys doing?
You guys?
And
Welcome
It's-
aboard, guys.
It's late out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a school night, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh yeah. Don't worry, they're only gonna be out for 15 minutes, and they'll go straight to bed after. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure. So obviously you guys have been to nationals 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times. Not sure how many times. Do you want to give us a little bit of your YBC career so far, or your national careers? A little lowdown, maybe.
you can go first, Cody.
It's not very long, really. It's just I had 2018 singles. I was second in Saskatchewan, and then this the last 2 years youth challenge. Last year I think we were 4th, and then this year obviously second with an all-star team for myself.
I started in 2017 and I got a bronze in doubles. 2018, I was a bantam single and I won gold. 2019, I got bronze in trios, gold in singles. I made 2020. Didn't happen.
Yep.
2022 Youth Challenge, gold and scholarship. 2023 Youth Challenge, bronze, all-star, and then silver singles and gold in trios. And then last year, bronze in senior singles and 4th in Youth Challenge, an all-star.
So
Yeah.
pretty storied career already.
And
Yeah.
she still has a few more years left, I believe, right? Yes. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you
Scared.
started in 2017. I was like, holy crap, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what anything was back then, to be honest. My mom was just kind of like, you want to try and go to nationals? I was like, sure. And then 2018, she was like, do you want to actually try for a single? And I was like, let's go for it.
Mhm.
So
Awesome. Awesome.
So obviously we want to spend a little bit of time on each of you. I'm sure Tim and Dexter have some questions, and we'll obviously ask you about your event. But a little bit elephant in the room, Cody. If a lot of people haven't seen you bowl before, you're one of the players still plays two-handed, but in an unorthodox way, not between your legs, like we teach all the younger children how to first throw a bowling ball. You rip it up like Belmonte. How did that stick?
It started when I was really small, like in Pee Wee's, playing up on like the Bantam team, stuff like that. And I'm just too small to hold the ball, really. At that age, like 6 years old, trying to bowl one-handed. So I just tried the two-handed style and stuck right up through.
Yeah.
It's been consistent, works for me. So
That's
all
awesome. Who's your coach?
So I actually, in home, we actually have Chris Rumbold, the one that we had for Youth Challenge. Which is
Okay,
good.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah,
I give him kudos for that because normally a kid they would make him transition and do it one handed and do it another way. This is perfect. Like you obviously have a style that works very well and very fluid, and I'm glad people don't just make that change for somebody. Everybody has a unique style that works, right? So all I know is I was watching you all weekend, and it was impressive. You're like obviously all-star, competitive. But I'm looking at like my age, and I don't think I can bend like that, even throw a ball. Like it seems like just painful. But I give you kudos to that. I mean, you impressed a lot of us out there.
It just comes natural.
I think the impressive part is like obviously you don't have a large backswing to generate speed, so you use your feet a lot, but like you still generate tons of speed, tons of rotation because you're blowing up some of the pin hits that I seen, some of the thick ones. I was like, there's something there that's you don't see normally, especially at your age group, right? Getting that much rotation, that much speed. It was pretty impressive to watch. Lots of comments, obviously, through the live streams and stuff. People comment on your style and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool.
People coming up to me too throughout the weekend, asking me about it, and all that too.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you for sticking with your guns and working with what works for you, right? As long as you're consistent, like that's the biggest thing. So obviously you've mastered the consistency. So good for you. And if you have a short backswing and you're generating power, that means you're going to have tons of rotation. If you don't need to. Yeah, if you have that short backswing, you could just snap everything through. So yeah, that's good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. That's also something that I always forget his name. The bantam from Paradise Lanes.
Damien's son.
Damien's son. Yeah, Lucas. Yeah, I mean he's great right now, two-handed, and he's doing the same for the same reasons, right? He wasn't big enough to hold the ball, and he's been averaging over 200 doing that as a bantam. So maybe you're going to be the reason that he sticks with it.
I was actually talking to his father through that during that weekend, actually a couple times.
Yeah,
weekend.
That doesn't surprise me. That's awesome.
Vanessa, obviously, you were just going through your accolades a little bit earlier. You've been a staple on the Newfoundland youth teams, and it was a constant kind of every time you were going up the bowls, there was people online and in the facility that were just like, okay, watch Vanessa bowl, like, and you're lighting it up. You throw massive games. I think we were watching, and almost every team, the high game was by a lady at Paradise Lanes. Pretty impressive to watch as a female bowling in the youth and seeing that kind of from the other teams, the other provinces. What do you take away from that? Does that give you a little bit of encouragement to play the anchor position on these teams? And like, that's not something we usually see. Usually it's a boy playing the anchor position, but over the last couple of years, it's been more girls for sure.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting to go down on bottom, but like I actually don't even mind it. Like leagues and everything, I always just end up going anchor positions, so I've kind of just experienced it a lot, and I've just gotten comfortable in those stressful situations. And honestly, like I don't mind doing it at all because it just pushes me to make myself better in those kind of situations.
Yeah.
I did notice that a lot, though. There was only like a few teams that actually had like a guy in the anchor spot, and usually I was expecting to be down anchor spot playing like the best guys on the team, but I had to play like Michaela, Raven, like all those.
Yeah, Taylor was there. Honestly, it was impressive. Like I said that a couple times this weekend. I think at least over half the teams had female anchors, and I think Northwest Territories would have had a female anchor, but they made theirs top heavy, right? And I think that was just a points to get a points off there. But I will say, I was talking to Chris Harris, and I've known Chris for a while now, and you went up there, and I was super impressed because I don't know what game it was, but you had to throw a strike in 10, and you were just so like ice in your veins. It was so calm. It was so cool. And I was saying to him, like, you were just leaning on the scoreboard and just chilling. Like everybody else is all amped up, and you're just relaxed and just like any other day, right?
Yeah.
To me, that speaks how volumes ahead of the game you are compared to some of the other kids out there. It didn't affect you. Maybe inside your heart was racing and everything was going nuts.
I knew it was going to be a good game. Like,
yeah.
Anytime I play Michaela, it's always a good game.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was expecting it, but you know,
it was impressive. It was good because you had the right attitude, and it was good to see that. And it was the first time I actually get to see you live. Never watched you bowl in person, and it was awesome to watch. So, both of you were really impressive.
We had to buy the very first game too, so that was our like first game actually of the tournament.
Yeah.
To further that a little bit, I mean, it's interesting because like during the 22 game round robin, you average 233, but then you get into the championship round and you average 250, 256. So obviously, like playing in like the pressure situations doesn't really affect you. And to further to your comment earlier, you had the second highest average in the championship round behind Raven.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Like you said, like it's the women playing the anchor position and doing it well, which is absolutely cool. Awesome.
Question for both of you. Going into the last match of the championship round robin, did you know this situation?
Oh yeah, we had it all added up like right before it. We knew we needed 7-8 points. We needed Ontario like 6-2, 5-3 win.
Yeah. It was pretty intense on the live stream. Like you can go back and watch it. We had both matches up while we were commentating, and it was like Newfoundland, you were taking the boots to Manitoba, so it was like, okay, it's looking like Newfoundland's doing their part, and Ontario was beating up on Alberta, and I was like, this could end up in a tie, and Newfoundland has the tiebreaker against Ontario. Or like, like all this is kind of lining up, and unfortunately the dominoes didn't fall your guys' way when it came to the end, but that had to be such a cool feeling knowing that you had to, like you said, take 7-8 points. You needed some help on the other side, but the way you guys showed up in that last match, like that, it's pretty cool to be in those pressure situations so early in your career, because when you enter the open and if you play masters and like that, there's going to be so many situations where this is just going to be an easy stepping block. You've already been in that pressure situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
especially when it came down to 4 points or 5 points in that last match, eh?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Vanessa, now that you played, obviously you both played virtual now, and you've had an opportunity to play live in Winnipeg the 1 year, right? Did you enjoy the double round robin?
Oh yeah, that was a good mix, and like the full format, the full week was perfect.
Yeah.
It was definitely longer than I was like. You don't realize how long it is.
Yeah,
but it was better that way. I thought so.
I just being there, Tim, as like a spectator and doing this stuff. I thought you could call it the FedEx style, where you got extra points going into championship round. I thought it was cool. It added something else. It's not just a typical step ladder. You have to beat the top team twice. Like we get that so often in our sport, that adding a new format, I thought it was cool. It added a lot to it. You just didn't have to beat one team. You still had to beat 5 other teams that are in your championship round, right?
Yeah.
It made for interesting. And in the last match of the day, it could have came down to that exact scenario where you guys happened to beat Ontario earlier in the round robin, where that was important, right? Like, I like that. I liked it a lot.
It was different bowling 4 days than 3, because it's usually 3. There's a lot more.
And that Ontario match came down to 3 points too.
Yeah.
Because
and the last game was like 7 points too. Like there was a lot of like 10.
4 points there. Yeah. First game was 8.
Was there any fatigue 4 days of bowling straight? Were you guys over it? Was your brains mush? Was your bodies hurting? What Give us a little insight. We don't get to hear that from the people
It
under 20
wasn't
anymore.
too bad. Wasn't too bad. Halfway through, I did have to throw on like knee brace, but that was fine. That's reoccurring. I think I had that on the virtual last year as well. If you went
Right.
back, that was all good.
Yeah.
You, Vanessa?
I was fine, really.
And you
It's-
played every frame.
Yeah.
Oh, just you guys wait. Just
Yep.
you wait.
Yeah, next NBT, they're going to be running through the finals and they're going to be complaining. But I mean, right now they're okay. So
Yeah. Obviously, we only allotted so much time for you guys today, but we did allude to it in our preamble. 5PL. Do you guys have a favorite team? And if you say the Rock and Rollers, everybody's just gonna boo you. So just maybe pick a different team out of the 26 teams in the league.
Can I say Storm Strikers?
Perfect.
Absolutely.
No, I don't know. I was actually thinking about that earlier. I was like, I feel like you guys are gonna ask, since you were on the topic, what our favorite team was. And I was like, Rock and Rollers. What am I like? What
Yeah,
else am I supposed
true.
to say?
We get it. We
You
get
can't
it.
cheer for Shane. You can't do that.
no one cares about Shane. No one cares.
No cares.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, congrats, Shane, to your Masters singles.
Yeah, whatever.
Boring.
Cody, you're real silent.
Yeah, the reason is I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Take him out.
But-
Get him out of here.
Yeah,
I
it's been a
probably will
pleasure
have to.
having you guys on.
Definitely have to, but it's probably definitely one of, well, as would come, cheer for one of the teams from Newfoundland, bowling out of Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I
right.
want to ask you that maybe this is easier for us. Okay, who's your like one bowler that you look up to out there? Maybe that's something we can talk about.
That's something else that's different too, because where I'm on the West Coast, they're all on the East Coast. It's all like
Yeah.
looking up to the ones on the
Yeah.
West Coast and stuff like that
That's
too.
okay.
So that's all different
Right.
as well.
But is there somebody that you look up to?
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, like some of the ones that are on the open team that'll represent Newfoundland, like you got like Paul and like a couple of them like that.
Paul Brick.
Nice.
Yeah, Terry and all them.
Yeah, Paul's been there.
All the
Okay,
ones that have competed before and won, stuff like that. Just trying to
Yeah.
match them, really.
Gotcha. And you, Vanessa?
I'd say like Megan Gallicano. Like Megan Gallicano, like the fact that she used to bowl like a lot and she took a few years off and she's came back just like nothing has happened. Like I find that impressive. And she's been bowling out of like I think she started in BC.
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say her.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, the Newfoundland teams, obviously, they've been contenders for a while, and especially the ladies team has come a long ways. That they're regularly walking away with gold. So it's kind of neat to see Newfoundland really being one of the strongest teams in the Open and the Masters, right? So
Yeah.
definitely some role models to look up to out there, and we can't thank you guys enough for coming on. And you guys showed that the youth is just as strong, and you guys will be competitors for years to come. But thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
thank
guys.
you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you for having
Thanks for
us.
everything.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. Oh, our faces are right there. Tough one, guys. Okay. Well, without waiting any longer, let's bring in Team Ontario. Couple more All-Stars.
Hello.
Ray
Hello.
and Evan. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Good.
Okay, we have a basement and we have a bowling alley. What bowling alley are we in, Raven?
Sunset Family Fun Center in Port Elgin, Ontario, of course.
Uh-huh.
Your
I
parents, I think your parents own it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many lanes?
We only have 12 lanes.
12 lanes.
What's on the walls?
It's like a sea theme. We've got like a sea theme going on. Our mini golf is underwater themed, so
Nice. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like it.
Hmm,
I like it. That's
interesting.
awesome.
And Evan, just your basement, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's not Mitch
Unfortunately, I
Davies'
don't live in a
basement
bowling
by any
alley.
chance.
Mitch's basement is covered in memorabilia and Avenger stuff.
Mitch's face mostly.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So obviously, you guys had a great week in Paradise Lanes. You guys both played really well. Your team played amazing. All coming down to the last match. Obviously, it didn't fall your way as well. But did you know the situation going into the last match of the day?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. You knew you had to beat up on Alberta?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And you guys did. And you guys took the boots to them. How did you guys feel about the format?
I think it was obviously very different from last year when I was playing virtual. The 22 games, like I'm totally fine with the like double round robin. I was cool with that. I like that. I like playing every team,
Yeah.
every couple of times.
More bowling, the better.
It made it made the last day like a lot more like not stressful, but more
Meaningful?
well, it's meaningful anyway, but
Yeah.
it definitely I've never played like a format like that, so having like completely different from the step ladder last year was interesting.
It keeps the team's intensity the whole day, right? It's not like, oh, we qualified first of all, so you got to wait for the step ladder, and then you have a second life. Obviously, I'm sure looking back at it would probably put you guys in a better position if it was the old style, because you guys would have had that double life. But it's nice to hear that you guys, or that at least Raven, that you felt that it was a little bit more intense. It kept everybody involved. I think that's kind of was the idea behind it, it feels like. Evan, you seem pretty cool, calm, collected on the lanes as we watch you bowl. You don't show too much emotion while you're out there. How did you feel about it? And what were you going through that week? Obviously, you played super well.
I liked it. I can't compare it to anything because I mean this is my first Youth Challenge Nationals, but I like everybody on the lane at the same time. I think it's kind of less pressure almost when you're not the only team bowling, and I like bowling a lot. I like bowling 5 games. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, like if we could have bowled the last day like we did in the qualifying, we would have won anyway. So, and we did get 2 extra points. I liked it. It was fun. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got a little bit of advantage, but obviously not to the same scale it used to be. But
Yeah.
Like I said, just as a spectator, I thought it was more beneficial to watch. But
Carrie, before they had before virtual, it was pool system, same thing, but there was no extra points. It was everybody started off with 0.
Oh, okay. So they still played a round robin.
They played, so it was top 4 played a double round robin, and then the bottom 7 just played a single round robin. So it was a little bit different that way, but no extra points.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing we were interested in seeing how it would work out, because we never done it that way before. So any feedback is good feedback, right? So just interesting how until you actually put it to the test, you don't know how it would actually work out, right? So
for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously, Ryan, you were saying this, or sorry, Evan, you were saying that this was your first Youth Challenge Nationals. Have you been to any other nationals before, or
only watching?
Okay, amazing.
Pretty
good rookie start.
Yeah, and I mean, I have this feeling that the pressure doesn't really get to you much. You've had a really good run lately for a lot of things in bowling, and taken out a lot of very good players, including the one that was coaching you. It's awesome. Like, clearly you know how to handle the pressure. Do you feel the emotions at all? You don't show them much, but like, how do you rein that in?
Yeah, I mean, like, I care a lot, so I think during league I put pressure on myself, like anyway.
So when I get to that situation, like I've already dealt with pressure a lot. Obviously, nationals is a new thing, but I mean, I was just trusting it, and it worked. And there's definitely emotions in my head, for sure, like a lot of them. But especially on a team event, you try not to show it. But
Yeah, you handled it really well.
thank you.
Raven, going over to you. So, not your first. Obviously, you've challenged nationals. Can you give us a little bit of your background and what you've played in recently?
My national background would just be last year's youth challenge and then this year's youth challenge.
Okay.
Other than that, that's about it for my national background. But
So, may
this
I
is
ask
kind of my first like nationals, like real.
what is your
experience.
normal average?
YBC right now, it's like 240, I think. Yeah.
Again, we watched a lot of the bowling. Obviously, Carrie was glued to it because he had to be there. And Raven, you were super impressive again at the bottom. Like a lot of clutch strikes, a lot of you gave it a shot every time you needed to. Have you played anchor lots? Obviously, probably.
I actually the only anchor experience I've ever had is like youth challenge provincials.
Okay.
But I've only played youth challenge provincials 3 times, I think. So that's kind of been my only anchor experience because last year I was like 1 or 2.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking for me but I had confidence, and then seeing that there, like you guys were talking about with Vanessa, like how many other girl anchors there were, like that made me feel a lot better because I was like, this is inspiring.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you averaged 250 through the qualifying round, which is huge, and then you go to the championship round and you average 264. Like again, pressure doesn't seem like it's getting to you at all, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You're the highest average out of everybody in the championship, and one of the top ones for the qualifying round. It's phenomenal. You should be very proud.
Thank you.
Obviously, Evan having the high average of the whole qualifying block, very impressive. What is your normal average during league?
236 is my YBC average right now.
And you average 268 through 22. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's nothing to shake your.
We're going to open provincials next week, and I can guarantee you're going to beat a lot of them.
Yeah,
majority of them.
Yeah, Panorama is gonna beat us. We aren't gonna beat it. So, but that's amazing. Good for you guys. That's
phenomenal.
Pretty phenomenal bowling. Okay, so let's go back to the event. As a spectator, obviously I've played in Paradise quite often. The Autumn Open is obviously held there. There was a lot of cut through corner pins. Did you guys notice that as well? Like you thought it was a little bit thin or high or a little bit in the pocket and you just leave the corner no matter what you did?
Yeah, I noticed it a little bit. But.
Yeah.
I think it got worse like as the tournament went on. That's what I felt. But overall, I mean, I don't understand people complaining about it, to be honest. It's the best house I've ever bowled at.
I agree.
And, like pretty easily too.
Don't say that. Miller's gonna be so happy.
Hey, this is his birthday. Give it to Miller. This is the best gift Miller could get.
Wow.
No, that's totally fair. Paradise runs a great ship out there, right? And you know, honestly, they had one little 2-second hiccup, and it's just because the pin chasers can get to the tangle enough, pop the fuse, and you put it back in. It was done. It was so fast. Everything we ran so smooth there, so I can attest to that. I will tell you that Miller always tells me this. I know as the week goes on, obviously drier it gets, so maybe that could be from the cut throughs because you only oil at the beginning. The other thing is, if you ever notice, I think as you go further on the higher numbers, from obviously 1 to go down to 18, the back half gets played a lot more because that's where all their leagues and open play. So their bands and everything gets played a little bit more than the front half. So if you're playing down there, you would notice a little. I didn't do it, then he got in my head over it. For sure, he did. That's something to complain about, but yeah, he runs a good ship there. Yeah, makes a little bit of sense.
It was definitely run very smoothly. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job there.
Yeah.
Like, I just wish they had more space there. I know, obviously, a lot of your parents and family and stuff are out there. I felt bad for them because there's absolutely nowhere to stand. They're squeezing in between everybody. Bathrooms are at one side of the center, which you had to single file your way through the whole place. But yeah, it's a neat atmosphere. Obviously, they keep it clean. And yeah, obviously the pinfall was agreeable to you guys. You guys played really well.
Yep.
Tim, do you have any more questions for these guys? We got so much that we could go through. Just want to hit on the good stuff.
I just again, like we talked about it. I felt like obviously these two at the two highest averages, they're $1,000 scholarship winners. I just felt like they're just. It was impressive to watch them. Obviously, Evan, I know you were on the podcast last week with the boys, and your style is very close to Mitch, and even the point out. So obviously, whatever he's teaching you is doing really well. You guys have done great on that aspect. But I thought I do want to like touch base. I thought your guys' sportsmanship was incredible. I've never seen somebody do the clap for another team in the 10th frame with Grayson, and it would be forever something that I'll always remember. And I have to give you guys like kudos on that. It was a great memory for everybody to be watching when that happened.
That was such an awesome experience. I'm so glad we got to do that for him. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that the difference between being like good and great is how you carry yourself, and that is exemplary for that. I wasn't there, and I was getting messages from people telling me about it. Like I wasn't watching. Like I was getting messages being like, "This is one of the coolest things I've seen." So be proud of like not only your bowling, but who you guys are as people. That's bigger than bowling, right?
Sure.
But I do have one more question. Now, this is same thing we asked them, so you have some time to think about it. Who's your guys' pro league team?
Mayhem.
Yeah, I gotta say Mayhem.
Okay,
Gotta
there's
go
the only
There's
okay, outside those guys.
Next gen.
like just
Next gen, sell out. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're really gonna have to kick you guys
yeah.
off this.
See you later.
Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, we asked them to this. Okay, Evan, other than Mitch, who do you look up to? Obviously, because you're doing your thing with Mitch and you look very similar. And same thing as Raven. Who's the person that you look up to?
You go first.
Tyler.
Tyler?
Yeah. That's a good one.
For me, there's a few. My coach is Elizabeth Nickel.
Okay.
But there's also some other people like obviously Connie Ward and Linda McLean. Like they're like,
Yeah.
I look up to them all. So
Yeah, Hall of Famers are pretty good to look up to for sure.
Okay, I guess we can accept the Mayhem if you like. Those are the two ladies you like, so I
Yes.
get it. And Liz Nichols is a great player, so that's
Yeah.
totally yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. Obviously, great playing. Congrats on the scholarships, and I'm sure we're going to see more highlights from you guys here in the short future. But if we don't talk to you again, have a great summer, and hopefully we'll see you on the lane soon.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks
guys.
for having me.
Thank you.
Congrats. Way better with this transition. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was better, eh? I was quick on the draw that time. All right. Last group.
Yeah.
We got to bring on some gold medal champions, I got to say. Sorry, forgot the transition here. Team Alberta. Ryan and Serena.
What's
There you
happening?
Hey,
Hey
how's
guys.
it going?
go. Good.
Good. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Just out of bowling alley
Weird.
Oh,
When are you not?
Which
Right.
one are you in?
in Cochrane right now.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's not what I recognize. I haven't seen too many centipedes.
Right? The centipedes in Cochrane.
I love the centipedes.
Okay, I like that. Obviously, first things first, congrats again on the
Yes.
gold. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could jump straight into obviously so many stats and stuff like that. But Ryan, you were obviously awarded Coach of the Year. How is that feeling even before the event starts?
Wow, that's I don't even know what to say. Like I was so overwhelmed when Tim was reading it off. I think my wife and Serena, my daughter, knew already. They were crying, and I could see it in the stands. And then obviously I started crying. Tim seems to get the best of me, you know.
It makes me cry all the time.
Yeah,
too.
he makes me cry all the time. I was shocked. That's all I can say. Like I don't know what to say. Like I think I learned from the best, you know. My coach was Tom Stevenson, and honestly, learning from that man was probably the best thing that I could be was given to me. So
Yeah.
I have nothing but great things to say about Tom, and he was an amazing person. So that's where I learned from it.
He's the reason Tim and I are good, without question.
Yeah.
Like, he was not like a great family friend of ours. He was our bantam coach in early juniors, and he was hard as shit on us, but also like super nurturing. And that's that was one that, like, when he passed, that was one that hit real hard. But he was an absolute gem for this game. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Serena,
Yeah.
this was your rookie year, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. This is my very first nationals.
So before we jump into all your stats and all that, how did you enjoy it? What were your highlights and what were your lowlights for you?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. Like, I honestly wish that it wasn't my last year. So, because like now I just want to do it again, and like probably one of my highlights is like meeting people from like all over Canada. Because I'd only ever met Alberta bowlers my age. Met a lot of adults, but never like other kids. So that was really nice. Probably just the like, I wouldn't say low light, but like my least favorite thing was like getting comfortable with the whole six person like 5-player team thing, because I'd never done like that before. So that was definitely something I had to learn to get used to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's for everybody. I think even the coaches, a lot of them is their first time too, right? So you can tell the first day they're all kind of getting their feet wet, and then the second day they understand what's going on a little bit, right?
And there's two ways to look at it, right? I mean, you could either look at it as like, oh God, I don't want to get pulled, or okay, I have a safety net if I suck, you know? So yeah, it is definitely a different dynamic, but you do get used to it.
Yeah, definitely. Because like, we never have any of that dynamic until we hit nationals. So if you've never done a nationals, like, it's a completely new experience.
And I'm glad they do it that way. I mean, like, ultimately, Youth Challenge is supposed to be like the open for the adults, right? So this gives you a good opportunity to feel what that's like when you do inevitably make an open team, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Serena, I did notice, like, I haven't really looked at the stats necessarily with like, but I noticed you got more confident as the tournament went on. Maybe that was part of it.
Yes,
I felt
definitely.
as soon as Ryan and Julie put you in first, I felt you became more solid, and I felt like you were definitely driving the team that way. So
Yeah, I've always found that like being in first, it gives me like something else to think about, because I have a lot of nerves when it comes to bowling. I overthink a lot, and I work myself up a lot. But when I'm thinking about leading my team instead of just like worrying about my own bowling, it does tend to help me like relax my nerves and let me focus on my shot better.
Yeah. So one thing kind of take away is like obviously Team Alberta end up winning the gold. You guys had such a great team out there. But Serena, you may not have been the highest average, but you took the most points for your team. You took 14 points home, which is absolutely amazing. Out of 20 possible points, obviously you didn't get to play every frame and stuff like that, so you didn't have opportunities to win every point. So to take 14 out of 164 frames, so literally 16 games, that's amazing bowling. That's match play toughness right there.
Yeah, I think definitely match playing, like sparing at match play Sundays definitely helped me with work on my match play and just like be able to not focus on who I was match playing, but just focus on my game. And yeah, I was
focused most of
very
your time just shit talking me on Sundays.
more Isaac, but yeah.
Ryan, how was your experience with everything? Like, I know it's obviously a totally different one than you've done as well. All of you guys were learning except for maybe JD, Jordan, and Michaela, right?
Yeah. My experience was phenomenal. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know what to say about it. Like the kids bowled phenomenal, right? Like you said, Serena took 14 points. It was just amazing. Yeah. Like the hardest part was honestly making pulls. When to do it, right? That's the hardest part. And to get my feet wet in that I'm just happy to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think it can't be easy for coaches to not only are you making pulls, so you know you're probably going to be disappointing somebody, but you're making somebody else happy that they're coming in. But also in that age group, it's not an adult atmosphere where you can be like everybody hopefully understands where the situation is. So a kid could be trying their absolute hardest, which I'm sure all of them were, and they're just like, I just can't figure it out, and then they get pulled, and it's not the same as like bowling league where you get the whole game to figure it out. It's like, okay, you got one or two more frames to figure it out, or else we have to put somebody else in, right? So it's got to be stressful for the coach. It's got to be stressful for the player. Like I don't envy the coaches that have to do it, but I applaud you for doing it because it's a builder.
It was stressful. It was very stressful. That's the easiest way to put it. Is the stress level is high when we're about to make the pull, and when we made the pull, it's like I explained to the kids. I said, no hard feelings. Like we sat down, I made sure when you're being pulled, there's a reason. Sorry, guys. Like we got to move on, right? I explained that before we even started, and but it was still extremely hard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And the other side of it too is when you're doing it with kids, you pull your kid. You're also dealing with parents. You don't deal with that with adults.
No, it's a confidence killer in the kids. I think, right? It definitely is. Right. They think they're doing bad, but they're not. Right. We just need to move on. Right. That's all.
Yep.
Maybe get them out of their head a little bit. So
And that's the way bowling is. I mean, there's so many times where we're going to have a 5-frame stretch where you're bad. Like that's just bowling, right? There's no way around that. So, and most of the time you have the opportunity to work your way out of it. In this scenario, you can't, right? It's like, okay, we gotta hope somebody comes in and throws strikes.
Exactly. Yep. It's difficult. And hurting their feelings is hard. That's the hardest part, right? Is hurting their confidence. That's I can't keep saying enough.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we wouldn't be doing the podcast justice, or you guys do justice without recapping. You guys obviously going into the final match of the day, knowing you had a little bit of buffer space that Ontario had to come and beat you. Did you guys know the scenario if Ontario beat you, but did you know about the Newfoundland tie issue? Oh, awesome. The kids didn't, Serena, you're...
I don't ever look at stats. Nobody ever tells me stats. So I am literally just oblivious until the end.
Yeah. And Ryan, you obviously knew everything.
Our magic number was 3 from the get-go going into that final game. Then when I kind of was peeking over watching the Manitoba-Newfoundland game, and they got off to a hot start, Manitoba did, so I was like, hey, that's helping us out. But then I looked up at our scores, and we were flat, right? We came out flat. There was a couple that were close. Yeah. In the end, the kids came out strong and finished, got the job done. Right? So Ryan gave me a heart attack.
Yep, there it
You
is.
have no idea how bad. And I literally told him after that, I said, just go, stay on this side of the foul line. I've never seen the guy run so fast to the line and throw a ball. And
Yeah, it was inches. It was inches.
I would
So
have
he-
whipped it. I would have whipped it from the back.
I told him, I said, I don't care if you throw 2 more gutters. Just go throw the ball. Right? And he goes up there fast. Oh, well. He stayed on this side of the line. He's got, obviously, core strength that I don't have. So I would have been hits in the legs.
Yeah, fair. I mean, like outsider watching it, it was great. I mean, I have to be unbiased with the whole thing, but it was great watching all these teams still in the hunt and something matters going the last game. I thought that was great. Yes, whether it was the format or not, just in general having everybody like that, it was great to watch. I mean, like at one point, I'm like, oh my god, Alberta's not gonna do it, and then all of a sudden they come back. We've all been in those situations before. Like the three of us have all been in that situation before. Sometimes you're just pressing just a little bit much because you just want it so bad. But I will say, like, obviously Ryan's winning his point was good. But Serena, you throwing that 1 in 10 was probably the biggest shot of your career, right? And how did that make you feel? Did you know that you needed it?
So I knew that we needed to get a couple of points. I didn't know how many because, like I said, I don't look at stats. And I was getting really worried getting to the end where, like, because I wasn't really breaking. Like, I was throwing like a really good shot and it wasn't breaking, and it was getting me really frustrated because I would throw something and Alyssa would come straight back at me with the same thing. So I knew the game was really close, and I like don't even look at like what my score is. I kind of just throw my ball and keep my head down. So I was just like, after I threw my spare, I knew that I had the shot, and I was like, "Okay, we need team total, so I just need to throw this ball and hope that it breaks." And then when it broke, I was very happy because I hadn't broke a lot all game.
Right. Okay, and I do have to ask you this, and I'm not trying to, make his ego very much bigger. Is you took Scott Barber's mental training? Did that help your course of the season on how you thought about that? When you're in that process, did it help what he taught you?
Yeah, for sure. Especially one thing he talked about a lot, and he actually showed like a video of it, was keeping the same mindset in the 10th frame. And he showed like the difference between when someone did keep the same mindset, when someone changed it. And that was a big thing for me going into all of my 10th frames, was like every time I needed to push, it was keeping that same mindset. Every ball is the same ball, every frame is the same frame. And that definitely helped. And like I've definitely like had quite a big spike like of my bowling this year, and I think that definitely helped me get my confidence, and that the Scott Barber thing was a huge part in that.
Amazing.
For sure.
Well, we kind of ran through our time, but we have to ask you guys, favorite 5PL teams?
Go ahead, Serena.
I don't know. I know a lot of people on like a lot of different teams.
That's why
It's not the pros. It's not the pros. They're okay. It's not the pros.
Let's go. Come on, Serena. Let's hear it.
Ryan, go first. I need to think.
All right. They better give me some merch. The roses.
Oh, there you go.
I don't get any merch from nobody.
All right, that was quick. Serena, your turn.
Yep.
Okay, I would say the
Five.
Crushers or the Misfits.
All right, good answer. Good answer.
I was just about to be podcast over.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Perfect.
And so, Serena, we'll ask this: other than your sister, who else do you look up to for bowling?
Heidi Mapstone, because like I coach her. I like watch her shot all the time, I definitely have adapted a very similar shot to her. So yeah, Heidi Mapstone and Katie Rayner.
Okay. Two gold medal winners for like the last 3-4 years. That's pretty good ones to look up to for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, who's your favorite bowler? Who's the bowler you look up to?
Who's my favorite bowler?
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite bowler. I like a lot of bowlers, right? It's hard to pinpoint just one. Honestly, Miller's a really good shot. I really like Miller.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Man, that guy's getting way too many shout-outs today.
Sorry,
just because
guys.
it's his birthday,
Dexter,
guys.
I like your shot too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, speaking of, do you guys want to see? Did you see the moment his heart broke?
Yeah, right? Why?
$17,000.
Oh, that's why.
And that was buried.
And you know what?
Wow.
I have
Trash
to say
house.
a couple things. The guy who's yelling is Brad, and Brad has stake in it. So Brad obviously was cheering for Dex. And then there was some guy saying, "Well, you should have had better maintenance." I don't know who that was, and then he threw a strike after. It was me.
Yeah.
But,
Was it this guy?
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
I
He's clearly
will
not the
say-
guy doing maintenance.
I said on Monday afternoon seniors, I went on, I was like, the pot was almost won last night, but the guy choked, and they're like, ooh. And I was like, don't worry, it was Dexter. And then they all started laughing. I was like, oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, that happens. I feel for you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You were so stoked because you have a steak on Thursdays.
That's right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on. Obviously, congrats again on the gold medal. Yeah, phenomenal bowling. Ryan, will we see you at the Open?
Unfortunately, not this year.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't selected this year, so.
Okay.
But I was going to come out and watch, but our golf course opens up, so I'm going to hit the golf course, I think, this year early.
Way
call.
better option.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Usually I would be there, but unfortunately I'm going to hit the golf course this year. But I might come watch nationals though. So I enjoy it.
Amazing.
Last year I flew out to Ottawa, so what right? So I'll do it again.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great job, guys. Well, we'll let you guys go and have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Bye.
I will say Ryan flew out for Demara Halverson first time singles at the dedication as a coach, just to go out there. And honestly, a very understanding wife too. Let's throw that out there. She's obviously a very, very good at what she does.
But Ryan's awesome. He's great. Yeah, he's our new technical director for Masters in Alberta for coaching and stuff, and I think we're in really good hands. So.
He's A plus. Obviously, we can touch base on a couple other things before we kind of let down. I mean, Kerry was there. We did talk about Paradise. It was flawless. Like, it was great. So I have to thank, Mark and Greg and his staff there. They had a great venue. People don't realize Tuesday, they actually canceled all their leagues or pushed them back a week. Tuesday night was already finished because they have a different kind of week structure. And then he offered free bowling for them, all the teams that came early on Tuesday. And he didn't have to do that. He offered it to them. And that's kind of person Mark is, right? And Paradise Lanes is. When we needed them to step up and we asked them if they could host it, we knew it was tight, but man, they knocked it out of the park. Obviously Amanda did a great job with everything and helping us out how long, and Melinda helped. Yeah.
The lunches on site was unreal for a center that doesn't have a kitchen.
Yeah.
They did, like, the committee, you
Maria
guys
was
all organized it. That was so good. I was really impressed.
So for people out there, if you've been to a Masters, they've done your bag lunches and whatnot. But man, like, they had 4 options. What are 4 options? You had lasagna, they had a fettuccine, they had burger, and they had chicken strips and fries. And everything was ready by the time they finished their bowling, labeled. and to their teams. And that was my biggest worry. And I tell you what, Maria killed it. She was great on that aspect. And
really
and with all her volunteers she had, it was awesome. And the food was good. Like, I don't think the kids complained. I mean, if they didn't like it, they had chicken strips and fries the next day, right? That's always a go-to for the kids. So
exactly.
they did an incredible amount. I mean, Sheila was great. She did a great in the back room there. 5P Universe, obviously incredible. How many views did you have in the final?
There was 670 people watching the
That's
final.
wild.
670 people, right? And you know,
670 screens. That doesn't mean that was the amount of people watching, because they said they're having watch parties in other places, right? Like,
Exactly. So you could easily think 1,000.
right. So you think about it, like people who say we don't need live stream, look at that, right? How many people you got to reach at home that were not, and like I'll be the first one to say, I don't know if you knew this, but I don't think I ate so many chicken strips in a week until then. You're right. That's always a safe bet for the kids. But Evan's dad is not able. He's in a wheelchair, right? And he was unable to come because obviously down the steps is not wheelchair accessible. But it was an option for him to watch. You got to watch his son play and get his medals and do all his other stuff. And at least that was an option for people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, the streams were flawless, and you know, Kerry did pro bono, and I can't thank him enough for that. So, and 5P Universe, Maria Dalton did all the photography, so there's some really great photography there as well. So, the Calgary group really stepped up and did an awesome job all around, I thought.
Yeah, obviously with the Autumn Open being there and Miller, we have a good working relationship with Paradise Lanes, and we made sure that things were going to happen. And like, it was, as bad as Paradise is for room for spectating, it's great for live streaming. I'll tell you that right now. It's the monitors are up close. They're like, it makes for an easier way to get it to everybody's phones and screens where it's readable. You can listen to it. Like, it was good. I will always do that.
And you know, okay, I know it's jam packed in there, but the one bonus of it being jam packed in there, the atmosphere is there.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome, right? People were loud and people were getting into it, and I think that is what's cool about that aspect. And obviously, we want to touch base. It was the first time ever the C5 did a sportsmanship award. It was brought up through PEI. They wanted to introduce it not just for Youth Challenge, but it's for the IP and for the Open, and it's for the coaches vote on it. It's and I couldn't tell you, like, the team, the gentleman that won was Grayson Klein. He's from Northwest Territories, and that guy stole the show. And obviously, people who don't know and didn't watch, Grayson has a little bit of a disability, but he is so all there, and he is a smart cat, and he was awesome. He was awesome around.
Like, you always know at like national events or like big events, people are probably going to shoot their high games, or like it's just the atmosphere, right? It brings out that little extra edge you need or whatever to throw that. But like, he was legitimately throwing his high games ever at the event, and like the most happy bowler I've ever seen in my life. That's what bowlers should be like, not this grumpy kicking ball returns because they rip a 2-pin. Like, take a look at Grayson, man. He ripped it up, and he was cheering on everybody. And yeah, you could see he was frustrated at times, but he wasn't upset about it. He was just frustrated, and then he got right back to it.
Yeah, it shows you exactly what bowling is supposed to be, and not what's built into our heads, right?
And again, it's Miller's birthday, so we don't want to pump his tires a whole lot. But I mean, I think the whole weekend was set off on a right note. He walked downstairs, saw a set of used bowling balls because he's from up in in Yellowknife, and they probably don't have the bowling balls, or they don't order them in or as much or whatever. And he saw a set of bowling balls that he liked, and he was $100 or whatever, and Mark just gave it to him. It was used set, and he was super excited about it. And he was Mark's best buddy the rest of the weekend, and Mark's like, I finally know what it's going to be like when I have Caleb, because every time he threw a strike, I could tell that he was looking for me, right? And it was awesome. And you know what? Mark is obviously fantastic, but it goes full circle. I mean, like the Ontario team, they did the clap for him in 10th frame every time he was up, right? And I think he played against Northern Ontario and he banged out for his high game ever, and he's jumping off and on the lanes.
Yeah.
And Northern Ontario gave him big hugs and big high fives in the 10th frame. I mean, they don't have to do that. It was just the first time that I've seen in a long time, just in bowling, that everybody was kind of just together, right? So it was awesome. It was great sportsmanship all around for everybody.
Yeah, it exemplified that sportsmanship award, even though like Grayson received the award, just everybody was also being a sportsman towards him and towards the other teams. Like I like PEI, watching PEI play, the Gallants and like JB and Brenda Carr, like they came together so well coming into day 4. Like they were taking like big points throughout the tournament. They were taking like, there is some amazing players out there. I know some of the scores don't resemble that. So I think, I hate to say it, but like Youth Challenge, just over time, you don't see the high scores. Obviously, you got Evan and Raven and Michaela. They throw the 250 averages, but the rest of the averages are kind of around that 220, 230. But like, I felt like the matches were more intense, even though they weren't throwing 7-baggers or 8-baggers. It was like you got Rose on the corner. If they picked the corner, it was huge, right? Like, I think that lost art was kind of being seen a little bit, and maybe that's what the sport needed was some of that. I don't know. I really enjoyed the weekend as much as I have a tough time with big crowds and stuff like that. Being tucked into that corner, watching bowling and talking to a few people that were sitting there cheering on kids on 3 and 4, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was good. It was good to be back. That's what I put it that way. That's the best way to put it, I think.
Yeah. Great job all around to the committee, 5-Pin Universe, the Paradise Lanes. There's so much hard work that went into the background. Tourism Calgary. Right? Like there's we had
a ton of sponsors. They did a great job.
Yeah. Congrats to everybody that was a part of it, and all the kids, all the coaches, all the chaperones, everybody that was involved. Like, once again, C5 Youth Challenge, one of my favorite events to watch and follow. They did an amazing job again. With that all being said, 5PL last week, this Sunday. Tune in, see if Crushers get heartbroken or jump for joy.
They got 6 spot. Remember, guys, they got 6 spot.
Yeah, I guess we can pay ourselves, but
Carnage is waiting.
Wrapping that all up, we do not have podcast next week. Nobody's going to be podcasting because Alberta is at the Open, so we're all there competing. Tim is coaching once again. Good job, Tim. It's like bugging him.
It's fine. He's got a calendar to make everything smoother.
Yeah, fair. Wow, inside joke. Other than that, I think we're gonna call this a show.
Thanks, everybody. It's been a great show. I need to pee.
Yeah,
really, really, really bad. So it's been a great show.
See ya, everybody.
See ya.